Why are we doing this, y'all?
So now that you've heard us talk for an hour about something that we were supposed to talk about next week, which is why I love that Neriah was like, let's just press play, because that's all it takes, because the conversation here, the vibe.
Getting out of the matrix is hard, and I know that every one of us has done it. We probably did it on our own, me, like us and God, right?
It could very much be that, but it could also be putting the man in a black room for days and shoving him with information.
See, but when you say that out loud,
no, my brain is not registering how.
Because it's to make our men feel like they have something to prove, because they know that you're a man.
People follow these influencers or get influenced by the people because we assume that they technically own these things.
Success.
Right?
Yeah.
And they don't.
What?
But me and Neriah were talking about, she didn't went down the diddler's
I'm down the rabbit hole.
I heard you guys, although you can hear me, I heard y'all, and I watched a video last night about Will Smith and kissing Jaden, and it was everywhere. It was all the time. He was forcing it all the time, holding his face, kissing him on Ellen. It was bad. So I think Will Smith is our next target, I think.
Yeah.
But what did you find about the diddler?
Well, I was saying that I saw him on Ellen, and Ellen was asking him about his kids and about his daughters. He's like, well, when do girls start having boyfriends or whatever? And she's like now. They're like,
he acting like he don't know.
And then he's like, no. So he's going through this whole, like, he's distraught, like, oh, not my little girls. And then she's asking him, like, what kind of parent is he? Is he strict? Is he whatever? And he's like, no, I just like give them what they want. I'm not strict. So which leads me to believe this is why his son is on a boat trying to rape people.
Yeah.
Because he can do what he wants to do. And did you hear his son's song, the diss track that he made about his dad and everybody talking about his father?
No.
Christian
Look
Combs.
at our faces.
Christian Combs, man, I told you, I've been going down the Diddy hole, and I'm sick of it. And so Christian made a song about people. He was actually directing it towards 50 Cent. But he's just talking about, like, don't talk about my father. We got money. We got guns. We part of gangs. And you got to listen to it. You got to listen to it.
Yeah, send the link. Send the link so that we could get.
Send it to the group me.
I'll send it here. And I'm like, 50 is going to have a field day with this, because 50 is the
he just came out with it?
He just came out with it. I want to say whatever day we met, 2 days after that. And I was like, because I was seeing it on like Instagram. People were like, did you hear Christian Combs? And I'm like, so I Googled it and I listened to it. So he's trying to defend his father, talking about people better not say no Diddy, because people been saying no Diddy.
He told his child to go do that, because you look a fool.
No Diddy.
You look a fool. Diddy told him go do that. Go make a song for me, son.
He did. He did, because nobody listens to him. What songs do you know his son made? I don't know, but he's a rapper.
So catch this: the drug mule, the little Caucasian boy that was arrested, he actually just pleaded out today. Like he took the deal. He took a deal, and they're gonna let him out.
Oh, wow. So he's gonna be an informant?
I would say that he had to give some kind of information to give a deal, because he had cocaine on him. He had all kinds of stuff on him.
Yeah, the pink cocaine.
The pink cocaine.
That speaks volumes. He wants to even sniff pink cocaine. Like, it is so weird.
It's so weird.
It's too much. It's really overwhelming, because then I was watching this law report. This white guy, I guess he's a lawyer or whatever.
I watched it on YouTube too. It's called the law. I know what you're talking about. And he sits and he does it, but they're real law. Like, he's a real actual lawyer.
Yeah.
So it's insight from that. It comes up as soon as you dig Diddy on YouTube, they're gonna come up. Law and Crime. I think it's called Law and Crime.
And he's just like sitting at a desk and he's breaking down everything that's going on with the case. And he was talking about the Rodney guy. And I'm looking at all of his statements. Yeah. How does a grown man sex traffic another grown man without tying you up and like throwing you in the car and drugging you? He was like, he made me get him prostitutes. He made me get him sex workers. So what he's trying to do basically is clear himself because he knows that he participated in this crap. So he's trying to clear his
never
name.
Thought of it that way.
Do you think that it's really that too, or could you do you think
thought
it's like power and intimidation, or let them like?
They said he was gonna kill him. And Diddy, but this is the same Diddy. Wait, we're doing our episode 2 on our episode.
Okay, I know.
It's literally like Diddy is the same person that blew up Kid Cudi's car in his driveway and allegedly. Let me say allegedly because this is going publicly and I cannot be sued. I don't have the money for it. Allegedly dangled, what's his name? Wale. Was it Wale?
No, Wale. Yeah, it's Wale.
Yeah, dangled Wale
on the balcony.
This is not the 5 heartbeats. Let me tell you something. When they hanging people off the roof, Diddy. Okay, so if it was a fear factor. I'll say, okay, let's say he was scared. Why are you not scared now?
And that's what I'm confused about too.
He comes up dead. You know how people feel when somebody talks? Like if I come up dead now, then it only proves more that I'm not lying.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's what it is.
If you listen to his entire statement, every nasty single thing that Diddy did, he was right there. He is trying to remove himself from that because it's like,
he has video of it.
Right, because when they unalived that guy, because I think that was the first intimidation. Remember, the son, Diddy and his son went.
They shot him.
The guy in the bathroom.
They didn't kill him. I don't think he's
dead.
They did.
He died. Yeah, no, they killed him. That was a murder.
When was this?
No, when they shot him in the leg, and Little Rod has it in his statement.
I thought they unalived somebody in front of him.
No, they shot some. So they were at the studio. The high yellow one, that's actually Diddy's son, went in the bathroom with Diddy and their friend G. The guy's name was G. Yeah. And a gunshot went off. Mm-hmm. Diddy came out. The son came out. G was left in the bathroom. That he was shot in his leg or something of that sort. But I didn't hear anything about him dying. I just heard that they made it seem like he shot himself or something. It was weird.
You didn't know that?
I never even heard about that. See, I'm not into like music and like entertainment and stuff like that to like be watching because you can get sucked in. Like I'm sucked in now. Like there's
that's my problem. I've been watching these reviews and updates on Diddy for the past 3 weeks, and I it's a problem.
Like I know everything about Diddy now. But what I really want to look into is his mom, because Jaguar Wright was saying some real.
Jaguar is my girl.
I love her. I love her.
Jaguar. Wouldn't it be cool if we could get her on here though? Like for real. Jaguar, like I'm gonna try. Look, it don't hurt to try.
Jaguar is the truth. That is my one. Her most recent interview where she speaks with Orlando Brown, and she's like, I know the truth because I did the sin. I was there. Because some people are like, how does she know all of this? And she was like, I was sinning with them. I was there. Yeah. I just decided to step away. I had kids and I decided to step away. Because a lot of people are like, how do you know this? How do you know this person and that person? This girl was with
everybody.
Yeah. Everybody. Lauren Hill. Everybody. You can see the people that decide to step back and they just don't get that much light as long. But the industry has people that we've never seen before that are really close with these famous people that see these things going on and are not like on your TMZ screen. Like just because you haven't seen my face doesn't mean I'm not around.
Now, isn't it funny though? She's been talking this stuff about people for years. Nobody has ever sued her. Nothing.
Well, they can't because they know that she knows, and I'm pretty sure she has evidence.
That's how you know it's truth to it.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like, even from the initial, like that interview they did with her 2 years ago, where she was like, "Oh, Diddy's having freak offs." It was like 2-3 years ago. Diddy's having freak offs. What happens at those parties? Sex and money. Why was TD like when I think they asked him like, "Why is TD Jakes at a Diddy party?" And she was like, "Sex and money." Wait, you remember that was like 2-3 years ago? She said that.
I went down the TD Jakes rabbit hole, and there's another pastor who allegedly is involved in the TD Jakes circle. and he was doing it and said that T. Jakes was at the freak offs, and he knows it to be true because he was at the freak offs, and he has a full body karate he cannot get rid of, and so his mister, not mistress,
what he can't get rid of.
He's got the stuff, the stuff that you can't get rid of, like the stuff. And his mister went on Tasha K.
Oh,
yes,
that messy. I used to like to whine with Tasha K. Tasha K is a demon. She's
right, but like he told all of the stuff. Mm-hmm. So the rabbit hole is way worse in the Diddy circle than.
Now, you remember before Cassie even came out with her lawsuit, Wendy Williams was talking about them and how she felt that he was like abusing her, or she was suppressed or oppressed or whatever. Diddy got Wendy kicked out of New York and sent to Philly because she used to always talk about on the radio the gay rapper.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that he's the one that got her in the state of mind that she's in too. Like, I don't think that Wendy.
Yes. Orlando Brown. First of all, that's what I was about to talk about. I was about to say, because now Wendy has dementia.
Yeah,
literal dementia. I believe that Orlando Brown acts crazy. I believe that Wendy Williams is acting like she's lost her mind.
Yep.
Now, they could really be going through these things, but I think it's really a protection tactic. Like, I really do think, like, let me just act like I don't have my sense anymore.
Mm-hmm. Because I've been threatened.
Wendy with dementia, all of a sudden she has dementia.
Like, how do you get dementia? Is gradual. Like, she was hosting the full talk shows a couple of years ago. She should have had symptoms by the end. For her to do a documentary to show how bad she's doing further makes me think, and she executive produced it. People with dementia don't do that.
No, executive produce
your own documentary right before Cassie's stuff hits the airwaves. So think about that. That was a month before Cassie's lawsuit.
Yeah, now she's like, I forgot. I don't remember. All I remember, and she just chooses to remember her entire relationship. That is the one thing that she's like, I moved on. I moved to Philly. He doesn't know that so-and-so picked me up. Like, you have selective memory with dementia?
Yeah, she's doing that Orlando Brown for sure.
Orlando Brown is not, that man is not Delulu like they claim.
You know who I'm ready to get exposed? That y'all remember, what is it, Chris Stokes? And like, okay, so if Diddy's getting in trouble, I would say that he's next, right? Too.
Well, now let's think about it, because the other boy from B2K, that's the group. No, Immature.
Yeah, no, it was B2K.
It was B2K, right? He's been saying that man was doing stuff to him for a long time and nobody cared. But see, this is the time of the awakening for real, where everything is coming to light.
Cat Williams said it.
I don't deal with astrology or anything, but this is what they call the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius is about enlightenment. And that is what's happening right now. Yeah. Because they said that Chris Stokes and that other one, the lead one, Immature, was doing things.
Pull up a picture of Chris Stokes for me. You got a 90s baby. And who's Chris Stokes?
He was the manager for B2K Immature. Now he produces tons of movies on Tubi now.
Yes. Okay. I still
remember him, light-skinned dude.
And he brought them. He was like somebody's uncle or somebody's.
Yes, I think he's Immature people's uncle.
He was one of their uncles. I'm not sure who.
But that's B2K then.
Yeah, but the guy from Immature, they said he was doing it right along with him. Oh. Allegedly.
Yes. Everything is allegedly. We know nothing.
We
know
absolutely
nothing. We know nothing. We know none of this to be fact until it's proven fact. Nothing.
But yes, but they said he did too.
Oh, Raz-B.
That's the one that came out.
Yes, I saw that face. That is Raz-B's uncle. You cannot deny it. That is Raz-B's uncle.
And he had custody, like legal guardianship over those boys. This is what I don't understand.
Yes.
Like even with Usher's mom.
Like, why are you sending? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, say it. Say it.
Why are you sending your child to somebody's house?
A grown man.
Giving up your custody of your child, the person, the existence that God put you in charge to take care of for the sake of fame. That's really what it is. You are giving up
and money
and then they're going in there living Usher, Justin Bieber. These kids, the B2K,
these other random,
why do they need to live with you?
Saying he adopted, like he has access to all of these children.
Yes. Why do I need to live with you to become an artist? Why can't we just have I grew up dancing. I danced Monday to Sunday. I did not live with any of my choreographers, and I was very well trained. Saturday at dance class, weekdays rehearsal for 2 hours, and I went home. Mm-hmm. Some of these kids, and I was that age. I was younger, and then I was like 14, 15. Like, there's no way I need to live with you to become successful in the industry. Talking about 48 hours with Justin Bieber, he gonna see things he never saw before.
It's like a ritual. It's like you got to see how desperate the person is, or how broken they are, right? So we got to test it out to see who we could put them in front of and what they'll be willing to do. I think that's kind of like pimping out your child.
No, kind of
different than them it is difference with R. Kelly. That's because we here. It's no different. I felt that every last one of them parents, they should have been in a cell next to him, because you hoard your daughters out for money.
The text messages with Azriel and her mother. Yeah, go up on the stage, go sing for him, you know, get cute.
Do all stuff.
And then now he took her and he ain't giving her back. Piper. He's not giving her back, and now you're crying. Oh, my baby, I'm outside the studio.
Those parents are in my age group, right? So we grew up in the 90s, right? We knew he was a freak in the 90s. So what makes you think that now?
Why did you put your daughter? Like, I don't have daughters.
He did it to grown women, though, because if y'all remember, K. Michelle was underneath R. Kelly for a little while, and she came out and said, R. Kelly is crazy. He had me locked up in the location. He wouldn't she came out and everybody's like, okay, Michelle, you don't know. And he blackballed her a little bit in the industry. That's why it took her so long to get free from that situation. But she was grown.
But and I'm not trying to downplay it, but she wasn't a young little girl who parents said, here, take my daughter. Go ahead, go fly across the country to go be with him, and I'm going to make your big sister go with you. What?
That's true. That's true. You're right. But you remember,
terrible. It's disgusting.
The desperation. And
and her mother was there.
And
her mother was there.
And uncle.
Her uncle might as well have been the darn officiant.
Later, right on a silver platter. And it looked like they passed her around, though. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, she was with R. Kelly, then she was with Jay-Z, then she was with Dame Dash. Like, it's like they passed her around. This is why I would never want my children in the entertainment industry, because it's coming out just like that. Quiet on the Set. All of these things are coming out now. This is why Britney Spears is a nut.
Is a nutcase. That one's not faking
it. Aguilera had
lost her mind. She can't be faking it.
No.
That one.
No. Miley Cyrus lost her mind too. Miley Cyrus, don't forget about her.
Oh yeah. She's done the only
Raven
one.
Simone.
Oh yeah.
Man, they did a doozy on her.
Now, in a clip that I saw with Orlando Brown, he said that him and Raven have a secret baby together. But then he tried to say something crazy to throw you off of it. Now, I need
I
to
believe that they
Google,
have a child. They probably do.
because people were commenting like, remember when she went away for a while and we didn't see her for a long time? And then she reappeared. Now I got to go down that rabbit hole. This is why I don't do industry.
Well, this show is going to get us in a lot of rabbit holes, because
it is.
I don't do industry in terms of indulging in the industry for pleasure. So like the secular music, the things like that. Like I can't, my ear gates and my eye gates can't even accept it anymore without saying like the devil.
Right.
But when it comes to really seeing these things, and I know God says protect what you take in, like I really am trying to narrow down, because every night I've been looking, and it's just absurd. It's just like, yo, people are really this evil. People are really this evil and disgusting and weird. These artists that are doing these movies and getting these awards and making this music and making your family's favorite songs to do step dances, line dances to at birthday parties are nuts.
Are living a different life.
They're caught up in the devil. And then like, let's not even, this is not for this episode, but if we get into the things that they do behind closed doors to make sure that they get that famous, the rituals, the blood, all of this, it's weird.
It is, but you also have to remember that Satan has reign of this world, right?
Yes.
So that's why scripture tells us don't be of the world, right? And don't love anything in it. When Satan went to talk to God, he's like, what would you do? He's like, I'm going to and fro. You know, he's just looking for stuff. We do not fight against flesh and blood, but spirits and principalities. And that is what it is, you know? So,
and I think you see it. I think you see it in these individuals when they are struggling and when they are put in these positions.
Yeah,
you can see that this is not a battle of like something of the physical. Like
it's not
you are trying to keep up something in your head, in your psyche.
Kanye.
Well,
he's
in
you know that hurts my heart.
He lost the battle. He actually he's
gone.
Lost.
And you know, I like Kanye actually hurt. That story hurts my heart because that is a true depiction of someone battling between flesh and their spirit and who God has called them to be, because he hears God's voice and his flesh just keeps pulling him. Like, it's just like, that is what you call a battle.
That woman and her family, I think they allegedly are witches.
Allegedly
witches.
We gotta say, but they are. They have a coven. That is
I really believe
allegedly. Because I'm gonna say
it's my thoughts that I think they might possibly be witches. And I think that they put something on him to keep him. They were his handlers. You know what I'm saying? This is why they had him 50-50, whatever they called it. And he was on medication all the time and being drugged up and looking like a zombie. Because remember, he made that song, Jesus Walks, like out of nowhere. Then he wants to do Sunday sermon. He was trying his best to
That's why it hurts my heart. He genuinely admitted, and he was repenting. He was openly repenting. Like, he even said it. He said, I feel like I've sacrificed my mother. He said these things out loud before so boom, let's do this. Because I enjoyed his album, Jesus is King, the Sunday Service Choir. I enjoyed those albums, and it was very sad to see like the downfall of him, because what happened with Kanye is he started losing everything, but he didn't understand, meaning he probably wasn't as rooted in his word. Like, he was feeling God through worship, through music, but he didn't know his word. Because if he knew his word and he had people around him that knew the word and were insightful, they would tell him, you're losing everything because God is stripping everything from you that is of the devil. Do not be afraid of that. Because he was in an interview as of recent, and it was like, you know, he just, God is not, I'm talking to him, he's not answering me or whatever. He lost all of his partnerships. He lost all of his sponsorships. He lost all of these things, but they were rooted in evil. And instead of like seeing those things and being like, okay, he's wiping me clean to start fresh, he felt like he was being left for dry. And that's the sad part about it. But before, so he had a moment where he was here and he said something. If I could find it, I'll send it to you all. But literally, he was like, if I disappear and I come back, it's not me. He blatantly said that. Like, if I disappear and I come back, that is not me. And when he disappeared, 2022, I think it was like end of 2022 or it was end of 2022. All the Adidas stuff, everybody closed their stuff with him because he was on Facebook and Twitter, and they tried to ban him because he was telling all of the truth.
Yeah.
They tried to ban him, and then he went ghost. Nobody knew where Kanye was. He was in the midst of filming a documentary about his walk with Jesus, about, battling mental health and all that other stuff. And his documentary, his team couldn't find him. They were like, he didn't show up to work. He's just not showing up to work. He's not, like, we don't know what's going on. We were in the midst of a project. We were recording. He was happy. And then suddenly he's back on his hiatus. No one really knows where he is. And this is right after he's like, if you see me go away, they cloned me, or they did something, or they took me and they brainwashed, whatever.
Right.
But he said it, and then that happened. And then around December, January, he pops back up, and he's at this, it was like Fashion Week or something like that. And his face looks like he got punched and beat up, and he has like this new grunge style where it just looks like his face structure don't look like him. And then now he has this random model wife that he's strutting around naked. And he's at Balenciaga show. I think that was the first sighting. I think they put him at a Balenciaga show, and that was one of the last things that he spoke negatively about before he disappeared was Balenciaga. And then they had him reappear at a Balenciaga.
Oh, then
they play all in our face with all of this stuff.
They
definitely play in our face
all day. So it's like, I don't believe that is even him. I believe they did some really crazy stuff.
Everything. See, but when you say that out loud, people automatically think that you're a conspiracy theorist. Why would somebody do that? And they don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's impossible. No, this is real.
Torture is real. Like, even if it's like, no, like, it could have been some science stuff, how we imagine it in our head, and they, some Matrix level stuff. It could very much be that, but it could also be putting the man in a black room for days and shoving him with information or torturing him or whatever.
Exactly.
Breaking down his psyche.
Yeah, it'd be like the Get Out movie. So it's just kind of like the reprogramming.
And even with the Get Out, that was a hidden message that it happens. They give us the truth in our face, but we're so blind to it. We're just looking to be entertained. We're not even really peeping anything in it.
Or comedians, like, they have a clip of Kevin Hart saying, like, I'm a robot. It's right under my arm. Like, I have blah, blah, blah. But because Kevin Hart is a comedian,
it's a joke.
You laugh. So it's just a lot of stuff that's just really trippy, but it's real. And it's stuff that's like doesn't sit well with the spirit. It makes you feel like this is just not right. Like, y'all are tweaking, y'all are crazy.
No, for sure.
But I want to know. For me, it's like, what did Diddy do? Why is Diddy the sacrificial lamb right now? What did he say no to? But then Jaguar thinks that he's onto it because Jaguar said he posts all this stuff on the dark net.
Right, but they said that Diddy was trying to buy something, or tell them, buy something back from them, become independent in an area, and he told them that he wasn't going to do certain things for them anymore. And that's when he became, so it's kind of like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby wasn't a problem until he wanted to buy ABC, right? Until he wanted to own or a network, or so that become independent. Yep. So Diddy was trying to become independent, and they were like, no,
you're a puppet.
They're stripping everything from him because all of the things that we thought he owned, he was just the face of. And now they're exposing that too. Now, he was allegedly with Clive Davis for years, and this is how he even was able to obtain all of this stuff. Like, he goes to shows with him, award shows, and this, and Clive Davis is openly gay, right? He never
now,
and Diddy hangs with him
all the time.
Well, allegedly that's Clive's side piece or piece.
That's his boo.
His puppet.
That's his boo. And so I get this is good because you just said something too that we need to discuss, is that the illusion of Black people having wealth, and the influence that has had on the masses, because the reason why people follow these influencers or get influenced by these people because we assume that they technically own these things, right?
Yeah.
And they don't. You know, they don't own anything. They just use our face, right? Which then tells us,
go ahead.
Yeah, it also tells us the influence that Black people have on America or people as a whole. So what did Kanye say when he was losing his mind? Supposedly, he said the Jewish people, those are not the real Jews. They know who the real Jews are. They're using the real Jews because of the influence and the power that comes with us. But we have no authority and power, really. None. Like, we have no authority and power. But because right, like you're talking about, Tamia, like Kanye had said that, what did he say? What did you say he said? He said, if I disappear
and I return, that's not me.
But right before that, he said 3 things. He said, I sold my my mom was a sacrifice.
Yep.
Those are not the real Jews. And the Black people are the real Jews. And then he made that a statement saying, if I disappear, just know it's not me.
Yep. And now he's here and he's with Playboy Cardi on an album talking about devils and how he's the new Jesus. Like, he's Jesus. He's just completely, they're making a fool out of him. So he was full out, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, Jesus is king, and made him come back, completely degrading that. So now nobody will ever take him seriously.
That's the whole
if he was to talk about God again, which also now diminishes, because a lot of people were, because he is a big factor, God was using him to build his kingdom, to grow his kingdom. There were a lot of people through his music and his Sunday services that were coming to Christ. There were a lot of celebrities sitting at that service. Justin Bieber, all of these people, even secular people, taking moments to make music that talked about Jesus being king. And once that was happening, the devil can't have that. So now you are no longer an influential voice when it comes to Christianity, when it comes to believing in God, because you're too flip-floppy. So now there's no one.
He's double-minded.
Essentially, there's no one in the rap game or the sector of Kanye's and Drake's and Jay-Z's and Diddy's that openly speak about Jesus being king. It's gone.
And I think that's why Kendrick Lamar kind of went to the back, because Kendrick Lamar came out and he's very spiritual. I love Kendrick Lamar. He talked about how he knows he's an Israelite. He talks about different nations. He kind of, and I think that the powers that be pressured him, and this is why he didn't make music for a long time. And then in the interview, he was saying like he had to get his mind right. He wanted to make sure that he was level, he was grounded, because Lord knows what he saw or what they said to him, because he has a big platform. It's no Drake or Diddy platform.
But it's bigger now. It's bigger now.
Especially after this.
It is now. But before, it was real wise people. His platform was real intellectual people that wanted to hear real music about real stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, I get what you're saying.
And I think that they knew that he had an influence, right? That he was capable of grasping people, because again, we're in a time where people are getting tired of certain things and they want something different. They want something more wholesome that makes you feel good. I'm tired of hearing music that make me want to twerk, that make me want to shoot somebody,
to that sexy red.
Make me want to get high, want me to curse my husband out. Like, the music is so angry. So he was a breath of fresh air, and they knew it. And I think they put the pressure on him, and that's why he fell back for a while.
Right. And Neriah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I said until recently. So I mean, like,
I love it.
I love it. And I love it because he's Kendrick, and he's like, don't play with me. Don't play with me. But one thing I want to ask you, Neriah, is what do you think about his concept with wearing the crown of thorns and appearing as, like, what have you looked into that and seen that? Because that's what threw me off about Kendrick, because it could very easily be like, are you blaspheming? Are you like, what is that?
I think it's more symbolic than anything, to say that I am a sacrificial lamb in this game, because I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be sacrificed like how Christ was sacrificed. I'm going to be sacrificed for telling the truth as well. So I think that that's more symbolic than a mocking thing.
Yeah.
Or like Jay-Z calling himself Jehovah.
You know, the Book of Hope.
Yeah.
The Book of Hope at Brooklyn Museum. I ain't go see that thing, not one lick
Me
of
neither.
nothing. I didn't go touch
they
that thing.
have.
I
He
ain't
got
go
a
look
book.
at it. He had the
In the
whole
summer,
setup,
last summer.
and it looked last summer. It was
Oh,
the
it's a
Book of
bestseller.
Hope. It was at the Brooklyn Museum. It was a whole exhibit,
Mhm.
and it was called the Book of Hope. And the Hove and the book was like the Bible, but the words on the pages were not words of God. It was
Oh my
words of
gosh.
Jay-Z, and people were all up in there that Brooklyn Museum.
Taking
And I said, "Oh
pictures.
no,
They
no,
got
no, no,
his
no!"
Lexus, the car sitting out front. It was people was coming from far and wide
To
to
look at
go
this
there.
book.
I said, I'm not going in
I
that
bet
den of
you it had to
iniquity.
do with Aleister Crowley then. Like I bet you he took out pages from that. Do what thou wouldst be the whole of the law. Do you know what
Oh
Aleister Crowley
yeah.
did? Like you gotta look that up to me because your face was like, who?
What?
Look Aleister Crowley. Look it up. Look him up. But
Do
don't
what thou
go too
wilt.
far with that. Don't go too far.
He's a Satanist.
Yeah. Yeah. So you
And
remember when
that's something that
Wait, is that
Jay-Z
one
likes
the main guy that created Satanism and he died? Or no,
yeah,
that's not him.
well, I wouldn't say he created, but he was
He created the Satan Church. Is that him?
no, that was Anton LaVey. You're talking about
Okay, it was
Anton LaVey.
another A.
But
Okay,
Anton would report to Alistair if that was the case because Alistair would be a higher up in the game.
no, thank you.
it's not.
Yeah,
It's
but like Jay-Z, what's her name? He was spirit cooking with Madame
That
Blanca.
lady, that black with the long black hair, that devil.
she's scary looking.
She's scary. She
Right.
just gives I'm evil. She
Yes,
gives
that is
I'm
pure evil. I
She
don't even
just
want to watch it. And they like head to head with each other, dancing and
Yes.
stuff, staring each other.
She just gives don't come to my house. You gonna be
Neriah,
scared.
your
Yeah.
face was like she was like
I ain't like that.
so this is good. This is good. This is really, and here's the crazy part. This is really not our first episode. This is just
It might be, honestly. Who are we?
Or you could just take snippets and use it as promos.
I'm going to because it's perfect.
Yeah.
If this is perfect, but like what I
Let's
want,
tell them.
what is the goal? Yeah, what's the goal?
Let's
Why are we talking about this? Why is this important? How does our coachings, like our specialties, help aid our community in discussing these influential people? Because that's what we're going to talk about. We have case studies, which are influential people. Why are we doing this, y'all?
So now that you've heard us talk for an hour about something that we were supposed to talk about next week, which is why I love that Neriah was like, let's just press play, because that's all it takes. Because the conversation here, the vibes between us is just, it's given what it's supposed to give. Okay, in my millennial language, it's giving what it was supposed to give. And so I feel like we're here because we are women of God, but we also very much, for the time being, until we're given eternal life, we live here and we see what's happening.
Right.
We see what's happening, and it's bigger than just people doing actions. People have ways, and those ways are sometimes trained upon, or they just are spiritual. It goes a really deep way, and we're all coaches. We are all qualified to analyze why people think the way they do, why they act the way they do, and then also provide insight so that they can push forward and become better people. So what we're doing is taking stories that you all know because you're on the Shade Room, because you're on Instagram, because you're on TikTok, and highlighting our coaching skills by using these individuals to say, hey, this is the perspective that maybe they should have, or just talking and having conversation amongst one another with minds that work kind of the same. Because as coaches, we understand, like, you have everything you need within you to be a good person. And it's all about your faith. Like, Jamie is a Christian coach, Neriah is an accountability coach. So decisions that you're making, and then transitional coach is where I come in. And it's like, we go through life changes. These famous people we're listening to and have these big stories and these case studies for, they are going through transitions. They were not always famous. They had a transition then they become famous, and they have a point where they elevate. That is another transition. And there's a void in these transitions that are not keeping a lot of these. They're not keeping them stable. there's a trend. People become famous. They go nuts for sometimes. They get addicted to drugs or they get addicted to sex. Then they have this humiliation scheme. And then they randomly die if they get it really big and they make it really big, like Michael Jackson, like Whitney Houston. They have this mysterious death.
Yeah,
Prince. And Aaliyah, Prince. No one knows what happened. So we just want to have conversation about these things, how Christianity taps into it, how taking account a lot of these people we're doing case studies on lack accountability, and then also just simply
they're cautionary tales too, because people are going to, especially younger people, are going to want to emulate these things. So with us coming from all three different perspectives, we can show you where the mistakes are and what to not do and what to watch out for. So this is also cautionary teachings as well.
Yep.
Yes. And so that is so exciting. So we already touched on what to expect. What, like, do you think that we've missed anything on what they should expect from this thing? You think we got it?
I think we did.
I think they did. They gonna love us. Y'all
they gonna
it's going down.
It's my type A. It's my type A personality. We're gonna be here. We're gonna be here every other week, doing things like this, talking, but we're also going to have clips and videos, pull up pictures, pull up what we're talking, because we talk behind the scenes. So what's in our group chat, we're going to bring it here. The evidence that we're case studying, so that you say like, oh, these ladies just up here talking like every other streamer. No, we're actually
people ask us questions too while we're live.
Yes.
And we can answer questions as well.
Exactly.
So they can participate.
And they can actually submit. We'll have them be able to submit via email questions or things like if they want to be a case study, then we could treat them like that too.
Yep.
Yes. And we won't talk about you like how we talk about the diddler. So if you submit something that you want us to, because we were a little bit but if you have something that you're like, I want to hear from, you know, women who have their head on their shoulders and just, you know, not feel judged, not have all my business, not go to a friend that's going to judge me. But I just want some insight. I want some encouragement. Email us. Let us know. We will give our insight here so that more people feel encouraged to reach out to a community. This is a community for all of us. We want you to feel like you can DM us, you can talk to us, you can have a conversation.
You know what'll be good for them too? If you think about it, we're in different age groups, right? So we get those different perspectives from the different age groups too.
I didn't think about that.
We're gonna figure this out together, y'all. We are honestly just here. We are honestly, is this thing on? We are honestly just I don't know here. We weren't even supposed to do Diddy tonight, but I think that this was a perfect emulation of like why this is gonna work and how natural our conversations are, and that we're just here for the fun and we're here for the growth and the enlightenment and for good conversation and for getting out of the matrix, getting our heads out of this like programming that has been going on for so many years. Like Neriah says, like, you know, she grew up and she listened to the R. Kelly. She knew R. Kelly. Me, all I knew was step, side to side. So for me, I didn't know. I don't know the sexual R. Kelly.
You don't know R. Kelly.
I don't. I'm 27. I don't know of the sexual R. Kelly. I know that R. Kelly where it was like step, side. It was at everybody's wedding. It was at everybody's birthday. I know that. And then I just knew, oh, this man's a predator. You know? And it just shows. I don't know R. Kelly. I don't know what R. Kelly, you know, those clips that they be showing of him on the stage. Yeah, y'all saw that in real time. I didn't know that. So it's like, it's great that you mentioned that, Neriah, that we have different age groups here where it's like, oh, wow. Okay. P. Diddy, like, I know of Diddy's sons more than I know of Diddy himself because they were cute. Or I know of the products of Diddy like a B2K.
I know when he was coming out and he had this big old concert in New York and people
died.
Yeah. So that was my era. So I know from when he was coming up.
And I know like Day 26
got away with it.
Diddy, you know, like Vanity.
I know Day 26 Diddy, but I wasn't supposed to be watching it. because my mom was watching Making the Band, and I like dancing and I like singing, but I wasn't 13 yet by Making the Band. So I was just seeing Making the Band for the artistry. I was seeing Making the Band for, I'm listening to my first iPad, my first iPhone, my pod, whatever, and I'm singing Danity Kane. Can you hear my heart? You know, but I'm not looking at the episode and seeing him yell at them and send them to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. Do you know Neriah knows the Brooklyn Bridge to go to Junior's for a cheesecake?
Man, listen, I wouldn't have went.
Abuse of power.
Right, the rest of them, yes.
Abuse of power. So it's like, it's so crazy to see the different. This is why some people don't know. Like the people like my age who aren't looking, who aren't, their eyes aren't open. Maybe they haven't come to Christ yet. So they know Diddy, who made Making the Band and made those cool groups, but they don't know, like, they don't watch it back and say like, oh, that was abuse of power. Oh, he was sexualizing them. Oh, it was a race thing. Oh, these men were uncomfortable. Like, even America's Next Top Model, things like that. Like, I was watching that. I was like, oh, that's cute. But I was a little girl.
But you didn't really understand like how bad it was for them, or why
or why this was wrong. Like seeing Justin Bieber come out, and I just know Justin Bieber as how Justin Bieber was presented to little girls. Like, oh, he's a cute white boy singer and he sings music that sounds like my music. Hence he was around a bunch of black people abusing him.
And also, let's not forget that it's now coming out, allegedly the Kardashian sisters did things to Justin when he was little. Because even in the Kardashian show,
Courtney,
first season, it was the first season. Kim, they were making fun of Kim. They was like, "Oh, you with Justin Bieber, whatever his name is." And and then now these weird clips are coming out of Kim and Justin running on the beach, her hugging him, and all of it. He had to be like 15, 16.
Are you
and
serious?
According to sources, they said that all three of the sisters
had done it.
Allegedly.
I'm gonna have to look. See, now it's like that's something that, because
I'm sorry.
But I do want to say that there's something that Tamia said, and it was true. Like, why is this formulated? And I wouldn't even say I formulated it. I say that there was something that dropped in my spirit, right? And then he sent y'all. So, but here's what it was for, and you said it in there. It is to help get people out of the matrix. Because getting out of the matrix is hard. And I know that every one of us has done it. We probably did it on our own, me, like us and God, right? But there's people that need us, God. I mean, like, they need God, and they need like to see somebody actually did it. They're still like, God is taking care of them, right? God is now guiding their steps and directing them, and they need to see it be us. Right? Like, they need to see it be us, because the matrix is so much easier for us to be in as a people than us to be in.
Because the matrix uses us as tools. Like, look at, like I'm not sorry. Sexy Red is a whole agenda for young girls. She's a whole agenda. She is a whole plot. Like, that is not like, yes, she's always been like that, but they took her and they knew, oh yeah, let's use her to get the black girls back, just shaking their like, and not because we are the most educated woman.
Every time I see her, I get a nasty taste in my mouth. Like, it just stinks. Like, I just think everything around her is nasty. It's disgusting. She has lip gloss lines named after diseases, and it's disgusting. And our girls are looking up. She's going to schools and performing at schools.
Yep, I saw Metro cards with Ice Spice on them.
And getting upset when they kick her out. Can you?
Yeah, because she came in there smelling like weed. And then I don't even think the parents knew that she was coming. It was something that the school did. And they didn't want her to perform. It was one place the parents was like, no, you're not coming here. And I don't blame them.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. And it's like, so like, there's
an agenda on our children. And those are the ones that we need to, because they are, let's be clear, I have gay people in my family, love the gays, whatever, right? That's between you and God. But when you start having
force feeding,
Say it.
Drag queens and trans people come into your classroom. Now, I have 2 grandsons, right? 7 and 8. My son kept them out of school because for 3 days they had drag queens come. They had to sign a consent form that the kids could participate in this for 3 days. And they had drag queens come there and talk to them, but my grandkids didn't go. My son was
why 3 days? Like, why was
because that must be the amount of time it takes to initiate some type of grooming process. 3 days. Like it was ridiculous.
See, my thing is, did we talk about sexuality?
You started talking about that. Hold on, and the internet started messing up. Hold on, wait. Okay, now you can talk. As soon as you started talking about that, my internet started to.
Of course it did.
Of course it did. It's just like, my thing is, I grew up dancing. I have a ton of friends that are in the LGBTQIA, I believe that's correct. Community, and that is with all due respect. I have all, like, how you live your life is how you live your life. What I am simply saying right now is, when did discussing sexuality become a focal point in elementary school?
When you're trying to push
I don't understand. If you want to have representation, everything, but this has to do with sex and relationship, who you choose to love. And I don't understand why, when that became so pressed in elementary school, where they shouldn't even be dating. They shouldn't even be thinking of those things.
That's the most impressionable age, though. Like, that's the age where you're supposed to be training the kid.
Right. But I think, like, I'm saying this for the people that don't see the issue with it. We don't need to talk about who you want to love right now. Like, I could understand if you're like, okay, no, I can understand if we're like, okay, this book, maybe some books do need to represent that there are some families with 2 moms and 2 dads, or maybe some conversations do need, like, formal, right? Like, formal conversations of, yes, there are some households that have 2 mothers. Here is why. There are some households that have 2 dads. Here is why. That makes sense because that makes sense because sometimes when you're discussing a family in a classroom, and if there's a little child, I'm a teacher, and there's a little child who has 2 moms, they may genuinely feel left out, and we can address that in the classroom. But it doesn't need to be a campaign.
My problem is because a little boy puts on, because I have a son, right? And when my son was little, my son would put my shoes on because he see me with my shoes when he was little, right? He'll put my heels on and I'll say, take them off. I did take them off. Boys don't wear that, right? That's what I said. That's what I did. Not making no apology.
I do that.
But when a little boy does that, and now you have teachers and then these outside influences telling them, why do you like those shoes? Why? Do you feel good in those?
Yes.
Do you want to wear them? So they're like molding them to think,
and that's
that
what I'm saying.
I did this, now I want to be a girl.
And that's not true.
And because you can address it, you can, and that's exactly what I was saying. I'm long-winded. That's exactly what I was saying. It's like, we can address it if it comes up. We can address it. We can acknowledge it. We do not need to say, oh, that doesn't exist. And that's why we didn't hear it before, because before it was it doesn't exist kind of approach. No one's saying have that be the case. But for a permission slip to go up for 3 days, for people to come in dressed as a sex that they are not, which has nothing to do with the standards of a child's education at this age. There is nothing that says a child needs that to be academically successful at that age. No, now it is forced.
It's
definitely an agenda to, first of all, to effeminate our boys.
Yes,
it is
our boys,
because our boys are strong, and the stronger they are, the more they can't win. But
you know what though? Do you realize too that masculinity is now considered toxic? Like there's no in between where it's like, oh, he's a sexy masculine. Oh, he's a
toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity.
Toxic.
I'll give you for instance. There was a guy that I thought was not straight. Okay. But what I think he was doing was being not toxic because he's an environment full of women. But honey, I found out that he is straight, right? Like, okay, because I was like, is he hitting on me? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, oh, there's a whole different voice tone and everything. Like, who are you? Right? Because every time I saw him in this environment, I was like, yeah, nah, and then found out like real quick. I was like, oh, you have to act like this.
Because they cannot, they are a threat. It goes back to Willie Lynch. You understand? And they have to be that way because they want to make it. Don't you realize when you look at corporate America, when you do, I'm not saying all, but a lot of the Black men who are in high ranking positions, 9 times out of 10, they're gay.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of straight Black because they're not a threat.
And that's why
why I think comedians dress up like women because
yeah.
Okay, that's a whole nother topic.
You're right.
You're right.
Like, everybody's
because I got a son, I got 2 grandsons. I've raised a man, and I'm helping my son raise men. Like, I'm not playing that game. And you could call me old school. And this is the thing. People tend to say that I'm homophobic because of my views. Like I said, I have gay people in my family that I love dearly. My favorite cousin who passed away she didn't call herself a trans, but she called herself a drag queen because that's what they called themselves back in the 70s, the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Never pushed the sexuality off, never tried to be in competition with me. Like, I'm a woman too. I'm a this.
No. Right. She knew her place.
She was.
She just was.
And that's my thing. Exists. I don't broadcast my sexuality around all day. Like, I wouldn't know what you preferred if you didn't tell me. I don't care. I don't want to see nobody kissing. I don't want to see none of that crap.
Like mine, like do that somewhere else. Like
I want to see
that. Not here. No, I agree with you. So I'm gonna say this, and then I guess we get in. Because we're talking about this subject, and it's funny because I popped on my Facebook before I got on here with y'all, and I seen our favorite influencer off of Family Matters. Remember Eddie? Like Eddie,
Eddie
from
Winslow?
Family Matters. Yes. You don't know who he's with right now?
Don't make me knock my phone down. Who?
Sydney Starr. Do you know who Sydney Starr is?
I do.
Is that the trans person?
Yes.
That wants to be on the Bad Girls Club so bad that lied on Chingy and made everybody think that Chingy, this is when trans was like taboo. Yeah. Nobody talked about it. Messed up his career and everything. Lied, said that she was with him.
But he is with her. Like, they are a thing.
Okay. I'm saying Eddie Winslow, so it's fine.
But the reason why I thought that it was because we all watch Family Matters, not all of it, but it was a big thing.
I watched Family Matters,
and it was very much so a family influence. And now this person that we, like people, even boys, kind of idolized him, not in a sense, but like a model son, right? You know what I'm saying? It's now like promoting.
Look at Malik Yoba. Malik Yoba from New York Undercover. He was in Empire. He said he cool with it. He was on the Breakfast Club.
Malik Yoba, pull up the picture, Jamie.
I forgot. Yeah,
I'm like Malik Yoba. I'm trying to keep up.
Oh, shut up.
See, this is why we have to pull up the pictures.
Shut up, friend.
Let me it. I want to owe.
You like, wait, hold on. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, I'm nervous. It's loading. Oh, I'm nervous.
You see it? Right?
Play everybody husband, crazy husband.
Yeah.
Brother.
Mm-hmm. He was on the Breakfast Club talking about it. Yes, ma'am.
You think he went to a Diddy party?
I don't know if Diddy wanted, if he was famous enough to go to a Diddy party.
I think he was. He's a Tyler Perry guy.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's crazy. I watched, and then this is the last thing I'm gonna say because I do have to go. But
Okay.
Laverne Cox. She's the face of Trans America, right? I watched her on some interview a couple of years back before this whole agenda really started getting pushed. And she said that real men date trans women and black men. This was specific to black men. And if you do not date a trans woman, then you're not really a man.
Yeah. Yes.
My brain hurts.
See, that's gonna be our next case study then, because I'm gonna pull up a trans woman saying that.
My brain
looks like
hurts.
Laverne Cox.
My brain is not registering how.
Because it's to make our men feel like they have something to prove, because they know that you're a man. Like, let's just say what it is, right? The elephant in the room. You're a man. And now because you are doing what blackface does. You are being a caricature at this point, or however you say it.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Is this thing on? Should it be off?
I'm sorry. And so you
you're playing.
That's it.
You're playing the character.
All right, we're gonna end that. Now I'm just gonna get the clip for y'all.
You have to cut that. You have
to. No, that whole thing coming off. That's gonna be the best part. What are you talking about?
That's right, because I don't know how to say it, but you know what I meant. A caricature.
A character. A wax figure.
Because when you said it, Neriah, you was so serious, and I was gonna just roll with it until Tamia just said, "Is this?"
Sorry. I know. That's why I said.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
That's it. And I was preaching.
Amen. You were.
You know what, Tamia?
I said, Lord, my brain just wasn't processing like how is he not a man if he doesn't date a transgender?
Because you should know that they're women too, and they're just a different type of woman. So
no, that's not how God made women. God did not make varieties of kinds of women or kinds of men.
That's not what he did in the garden. It's not what
he did.
Of women.
When they told me, I was on some podcast, and they were saying that being sex is a social construct.
What?
Sex and gender are two different things.
Yeah, they're preaching that. Those overly spiritual people said that there's 3 types of spirits, or there's 3 spiritual.
Oh no, see, this is where I gotta go. No,
there's several genders, and they're like
there
was never any male or female. Like they like the spiritual community is like wild right now.
In
like
danger.
It is dangerous, because like now people are like, well, I'm pansexual. You know what that is? I just go with whatever the wind says.
But isn't that being bisexual?
That's what I would think.
Right, because there's only men.
I mean, I'm just saying.
But there's not only men or women.
No, so. You got hims and theys.
He's and she.
According to them.
I mean, I seen where the one guy said, "I am Legion."
We have to cut this out, or we are going to get canceled on our first episode.
We're going all in. The Lord said we can say what we want. We are protected by the Lord Jesus Christ. In Jesus' name. Cancel who?
Hallelujah.
If any of my friends are transsexual, LGBTQIA+.
I know, just like she has people in her family, I know very good people.
But that's like the white people saying I have black friends.
I can, if I need to, I will bring my gay family members 1 week so they can tell you that they're gay. Because I do, and it's cool. I got lesbians and I got gay men. It's fine. I don't
Who you love is not my business. Like, who you love is not my business. It's just the forcing down this road.
And it's not for children.
Right.
It's not for kids. That's my biggest thing. It's not for kids. Kids don't need to talk about sex. Kids don't need to change their gender.
Yes.
Kids
Let
don't
us raise
need to
our
do that.
kids. And then if they decide that they want to do something like that when they get older
and move out my house, that's between them and God.
House, yeah, then like that's on you and God for sure. Because I know I did not tell you that was okay, but like, you know, yeah, no, why we get canceled for talking about something and they're doing 3-day events.
And we can be, it's so ironic to me that, and I said this before, that we are the only culture that you can talk about. You can call Black women bitches, Black men niggas,
rude,
you
obnoxious,
can do anything and say anything. But if you talk about anybody else, it's considered hate.
Right.
And
but
you
when
get canceled.
And it's not hate at all. When it's us, it's never hate. It's just they can't handle it. Y'all need to be have a better attitude. You need to stop complaining.
Yeah.
You need to you're being too sensitive. We didn't mean it like that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to us, what are you talking about? But if it's an Asian, you know,
they get a bill. They get an Asian hate crime bill.
Yep. Am I delayed?
Nope, y'all gonna get me on a roll. I can't.
I'm sorry.
Is there anything else?